A fabulous good afternoon to all my dear students and parents. I am Harish Agnihotra, Social TGT from Parigi, Vikarabad. Before we enter into the topic, I would like to invite your parents to watch this session. Students, make sure they are watching or not. Okay, today our topic is discrimination and social protest movement. Before we enter into the topic, I would like to start a story. Are you ready to listen? Okay. Imagine yourself, you are a family member in your family, your father, your mother and your brother. At fine morning, your mother shared idlis. She put one idli in your plate and 3 idlis in your brother's plate. As the same way, in the evening, your father brought 4 chocolates to your home and he gives 1 to you and 3 to your brother. While sleeping, your father, mother and your brother separated their bed from your bed. Student, how you feel at that night? Just think, are you sleep well at that night? What you name the type of deviant behavior of your parents? Inequality, injustice, separation. Imagine, student, this type of deviant behavior that's shown from the centuries in our country to an individual or a group of people, that was we call as discrimination. If I am correct, next day morning you will definitely show a protest on your parents. You will definitely fight for your rights. Naturally, in diversified countries like India, we can see frequently this type of discriminations. Okay, here we can see in India there are different types of regions, different types of religions and different types of castes, subcastes and tribes. These all differences leads our society into cultural diversity. Then there is two options here. One is we can live unitely and cooperating with each other, and there is second option is also there, discriminating each other, and we can segregate ourselves. So listen, just think, our honorable constitution made us to unite with the articles as a Indians. Okay, students, here I have some examples of different people who are belongs to different religions and different states in our country. Let us see. Here the man from Sri Krishna Sudama, he is from Andhra Pradesh, and his traditional food was dal and rice, and his festival is Sri Ramanavami, and his traditional dress is pancha and dhoti. He is from Andhra Pradesh. And there is another person, George Sampson. He is from Nagaland state, and his traditional food was axon, and his festival, his religion is Christian, and his festival he celebrate his festival as Christmas, and the universal dress code is shirt and pant. And there is another girl from Maharashtra. She is a Muslim, and her name Shirin Sabha. Her traditional food is biryani and halim and kofta, and festival is Ramjan, and dress is burqa. That is entirely different from our surroundings. And there is another tribal person, Yashwant Nayak from Telangana, and his traditional food is solai, and his festival also the celebrated Sitla festival, and the dress is called as fetia. And there is another person from Rajasthan, Merwan Rathod. His food is they are used to eat Zowar and roti, and the celebrated Pushkar fair, it is very famous in Rajasthan, and their dress is different from all above 4 members, that is Angarkha and Pagri. So students, what we can understand from this table? There is lot of differences, there is a lot of diversity in our country. So we are going to learn about the types of discrimination. Here the first type of discrimination is regional discrimination. Students, regional discrimination is such a type of discrimination that is showing or expressing a bias on an individual or a group of people based on their geographical origin or their living place. For example, we can take migrants. In our surroundings, we can see a lot of people from migrated from Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and Orissa, especially from Chhattisgarh. We can see them, and we all very well know about how we treat them. And there is another example, Tamils in Sri Lanka. There are 18% of people, population in Sri Lanka, but their language, Tamil, was not recognized by Sri Lanka government. Then Tamils are felt that we are discriminated by Sri Lankan government, and they started agitations. And we are very familiar with the Andhra Telangana issue that was happened in our time. Telangana people were thought that, and they technically proved that Andhra administrators were shown discrimination on Telangana region. Then they fought for it, and finally we are achieved, and we are in our separate state. Now the Bangladesh and Pakistan issue. While India-Pakistan partitioning, Bangladesh is also the part of Pakistan. In 1971, Bangla people were started agitating because Pakistan is showing discrimination on the region basis. So they fought for it, and finally they made it, and the Bangladesh is independent now. And the second type is racial discrimination. Students, the racial discrimination is a very big issue in all over the world. Racial discrimination, the T is mean by showing discrimination on an individual or a group of people based on their skin color or their ethnic origin. For example, we can take South Africa. We call that type of racial discrimination in South Africa as apartheid. Students, you can say this chart. See here, this is a pie chart. We can see this type of charts in mathematics. See here, this is population chart. The yellow color place is 75% of the entire circle. The 75% indication of African population, the native population. And here the black color is Indians. The Indians who are migrated from India and they are living in South Africa. The population is 5%, and the Europeans who are migrated from European countries, those population is 20% of population is there. But the occupation of lands is different. See here, the yellow color is 90%. Here the overall lands, 90% of lands are occupied by white people who are migrated from European countries, and the blacks are reserved for only 10%, and they are not allowed to occupy or do farming on the whites' lands. So such a type of inequality we can see, and the legend person Nelson Mandela, who fought for eradicating the racial discrimination in South Africa. He is an anti-apartheid leader. And next, the Afro-American discrimination. Literally 15 to 20 millions of people fought for their equal rights. In America, they are migrated from Africa at the 18th or 17th century, and that Civil Rights Act was achieved under the leadership of Martin Luther King Jr. And this is all about racial discrimination. And next, the gender discrimination. Students, from the centuries, women are suppressed to or forced to stick to the household works. Even though their value of their work was not recognized by anyone at this male-dominated society, and the value of their household works was not added into the GDP also. and there are lot of inequalities in unorganized sector, especially we can see in our villages, in agriculture work and industrial works, the wages are different men to women, and the work sharing is also different from men and women. Not only unorganized sector, we can see lot of humiliations, lot of abuses everywhere where women can go, there women should facing the humiliation and abuses. Are women are meant for this? Are women are naturally like this? No. There is a perceptual difference in our minds. See here, I will tell some funny explanation. Listen here. Students, when a girl child born in a family, the parents are eagerly waiting to brought a pink color dress. First of all, pink color dress. If a boy will born, they preferred blue. And even playing toys also, they use it to utensils and Barbie dolls and kitchen items for girls, and guns and trucks. Here, guns and trucks for boys. And here we can observe their dressing style. Their dressing styles also, that was abducting their free movement, where boys can move freely. And they put the marriage, even in our society, for girls they can treat marriage is a settlement, but they treated as getting job is settlement for boys. This is the and also in our society, and parents also think that if girl child will born, we are in minus. If boy child will born, we are in plus. They are thinking about the dowry. So we must change our perception on girl child. And next, caste discrimination. Caste discrimination, first of all, caste is a social order, especially we can see in Hinduism in India. One caste should be above or below or each other caste. There is two major characteristics in the caste system. One person who belongs to one caste, that person should marry within the caste. And second one is, one caste fellow must choose the same profession. For example, the cobbler must deal with the leather work, the potterman must deal with the making pots, and the barber must do haircut only, like this. So had caste always been there? No. In early Vedic period there is no caste system, but we can found the origin of casteism in Puranas and Bhagavad Gita. I have a reference book. That book name is Nenu Panchamunnetlaita, which is written by Yerrana. We can see here the clear picture of the emergence of caste system. Okay. I will tell the two slokas. First one is from Taittiriya Upanishad. The 13th sloka in Purusha Suktam is Brahmanosya Mukamasit Bahu Rajanya Krutaha Uru Tadaisyam Yadvaishya Padbhango Shudra Ajayataha. That means Brahmanasya Mukamasit. The Brahmins are born from the face of Brahma or Supreme God, and the Kshatriyas are from shoulder, and the Vaishyas are from thighs, and the Shudras are from feet. And there is another example from Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Jnana Yogam, and the 13th sloka is Chaturvarnam Maya Srushtam Gunakarma Vibhajakaha Tasya Kartaram Apimam Vidya Kartaram Avyamam. That means these words are saying by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. He is saying that the Chaturvarna, the four Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, the four Varnas are created by me according to their profession and their character. Here there is no negativity, but I am taking this reference book as a origin, the starting point in Hinduism as a caste system. Okay. And for eradicating this social evil, there are a lot of social reformers are there. For example, we can see here there are lot of number of social reformers are here, but we are not going to be thorough discuss about them, but we can classify them into three categories. First one is Bhakti saints. First one is Bhakti saints, and second one is, we can call them as social reformers, and third one is Oriental scholars. Oriental scholars. First category, Bhakti saints, from the Buddha, Vardhamana Mahavira, Ramanujacharya, Adi Shankaracharya, Basavanna, and Dayananda Saraswati, Kabir Das, Swami Vivekananda, including Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. These all people are comes under the Bhakti saints. Bhakti saints, and they reformed their religion. They reformed their religion in a religious way. They showed a new path to their religion. And the second category, the social reformers who struggled for their life and sacrificed their life to eradicating the social evil like a caste system, and they worked for women's and as well as Dalits. Here we can see Jyotiba Phule, Baba Saheb Ambedkar from Maharashtra, Periyar Ramaswamy Nayakar from Tamil Nadu, Narayana Guru from Kerala, and Ayyankali. There are a lot of members. And the third category is Oriental scholars. Oriental scholars who came from European countries. They worked for our Sanskrit literature, which is hidden for centuries, and they translated into English. The Sanskrit literature translated into English like Vedas, Puranas. For example, we can take his name, Max Muller, William Jones, and C.P. Brown, etc. These all are struggled for eradicating the social evils. And next, there is another category, women social reformers, like Savitribai Phule. In 1948, Savitribai Phule established a school in Pune. After the succession of Jyotiba Phule, she maintained the Satyashodak Samaj, which is established by Jyotiba Phule, and she served for plague patients at the pandemic situation. And another one is Ramabai Saraswati. She established Sharda Sadan. She took special care on widows. And Ishwaribai Patel, she was the president of Republican Party of India, which is established by Baba Saheb Ambedkar, and she established a vocational center for women, which is useful for women. And T.N. Sada Lakshmi, she worked as a MLA and ministers in our government, and she worked as a deputy speaker also, and she worked as vice president of Telangana Praja Samiti, and she is an activist in separate Telangana movement. And there are Dalit reformers in our Telangana. B.S. Venkatrao was established Adi Dravida Samiti in 1922, and he established Adi Hindu Mahasabha in 1927, and also B.S. Venkatrao was built 18 temples for Dalits, and he put a name for that colony as Adi Nagar. And finally, he got a name Kursu-e-Dakkan from the Nizam government. And there is another reformer, Arige Ramaswamy. Arige Ramaswamy was a social reformer, and he established Sunita Bala Samaj, and he also established the Hindu Jatiyonnati Sabha, and he worked with the Ishwaribai Patel. And Bhagya Reddy Verma, his original name is Madiri Bhagaya, and he treated Dalits as the Adi Hindus, and he established Jagan Mitra Mandali, and he focused on the Devadasi system and Jogini system, which is we call as social prostitution, religious prostitution. And he fought for against agitation. He started agitation against the Devadasi system and Jogini system. And we all know that Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, who fought for widow remarriages. Okay, children, here we are going to enter into the second session, second chapter of the session, that is social protest movements. Social protest movements. At the middle of industrialization, after the industrialization, there is a class formed, a large number of section people are formed as a labor, industrial laborers. That class of people in lot of dissatisfaction because of low wages, because of temporary works, because of work burden. That dissatisfied class was taken ideas from French Revolution like fraternity, equality, integrity, and they start agitating, they start Protestant movements against the unfair policies of the companies. And there is happened some riots for food in entire Britain country. That riots we can call them as food riots. And the next one is Luddism. Students, at that time, the household workers and a lot of workers will think that they thought that we lost our employment because of these machinery. So we have to destroy this machinery for then we will get our employment back. So they started protest movements and they started assault on machines. Like that type of movement is Luddism. That was happened in between 1811 and 1817. Luddism is not only a assault on missions. They demanded for minimum wages. They demanded for welfare of women and children who were worked in industries. And they demanded for their rights like formation of trade unions, and they demanded for their work. And after that, in European society, there is emerged two main ideologies. Those are, first one is capitalism and second one is socialism. First, capitalism. What is capitalism? Capitalism is a private ownership. It is a private ownership on natural resources or industries. Here, whoever invests in establishing a industry, they will call as a capitalist. The capitalist gets profits, but the workers get wages. It is an unfair policy. It is exploitative, the hard work of the workers. We can consider Adam Smith as the father of capitalism. And next, socialism. Socialism is a public ownership on natural resources, and this socialism was initiated by Plato and Thomas More, and that was took a step forward by Karl Marx, the creator of communism, and Engels also. In French Revolution, the socialism was developed according to the revolutionists. Saint Simon, there is a support of saints like Simon, and there is industrialists also supported the socialism like Owen. And we can see here there are some pictures of Indians. Can you recognize them? Swami Vivekananda, Jawaharlal Nehru, M.N. Roy, Bhagat Singh. These are who are inspired by socialism. We can call them as enthusiastic socialists, Indian socialists. Okay. And next, what is the role of women in that time? Students, Declaration of the Rights of Women or female citizens was written on 5th September 1791 by the famous poet and feminist Olympe de Gouges. In response, this declaration was never passed. This declaration was never passed by the French National Assembly, and there is a big ideology that changes the entire woman's lifestyle in entire life, that is feminism. What is feminism? feminism is showing a concern towards the gender equality, and they fought for their absolute rights and the aspects of the equality. Like Virginia Woolf, there are several number of women writers. They write for supporting feminism, and especially Virginia Woolf wrote about how the women are dominated by men and how the women are becoming themselves part of this domination. And next, our next chapter in this session is Women Protection Acts. Okay, children, from the centuries, women are facing discrimination in our society. For eradicating this situation, our Indian constitutional framers were designed some articles. According to those articles, our Indian government, central government, was created some women protection acts. For example, Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006, and another one is the Immoral Trafficking Prevention Act 1956 and 2006. It was amended in 2006, and the Dowry Prohibition Act in 1961, and POCSO Act, Prevention on Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012, and it was amended in 2019. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005, and the Nirbhaya Act 2013. We can go through these acts. First one is Prohibition of Child Marriage Act. Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006. Okay, children, see here. According to this act, if a male has not completed 21 years, if a female has not completed 18 years, that marriage will treat as a child marriage. Either one or both parties is a child, is a minor, that marriage is treated as a child marriage. And if the male is above 21 years, the girl should be paid by maintenance till she get 18 years. If the male is minor, his parents should provide such maintenance. And there are some consequences. There are some bad consequences of by the Child Marriages Act. That is, the main one is underage pregnancy. And this child marriages will be treated as a obstacle for their studies, for further studies. And the another one is the prematured births and abortions. There is a chance of abortions, and the handicapped child will burn. Dead children also birth. Mental as well as physical health problems will also faced by the mother. And the main thing is the children will become as child labor for feeding their family. Okay. And the next one is Immoral Trafficking Prevention Act. What is immoral trafficking? Immoral trafficking mean by transporting women in illegal manner and forcing them into prostitution by showing career opportunities. According to this act, we can classify the illegal activities in 4 categories. First one is sexual assault, forced prostitution, social religious prostitution, and forcing them to read obstructing writings and obstructing pictures comes under this sexual assault. And the second one is illegal activities against the law, for removing their body parts and forced them into begging for money. And another one is trafficking the children and selling narcotics and drugs by using children. This comes under the second category. And the third category is laborers. Children is treated as wetty labours, domestic labours, and agriculture labours, and construction labours. And after that, the fourth category is sadistic pleasure, tying up the children to the camel's body and making them as a running competition in for some few festivals. This is a sadistic pleasure. And another category is also taking adoption and making them married without their consent is also comes under the sadistic pleasure. And the third category is the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. According to this act, taking and giving dowry is a punishable crime. So if the parents wants to give some gifts, offering some gifts, there is some conditions. First one is they must enlist their list of offerings, and the gifts, the offerings must under the cultural norms or religious customs. And the main thing is the value of the offerings cannot be exceed of the family. The offerings not to be burden to the family. And the next one is Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. Domestic violence can divide as a 4 types. First one is sexual abuse, and second one is physical abuse, and third one is verbal and emotional abuse, and the fourth one is economical abuse. And the Nirbhaya Act and POCSO Act as a consider as a sexual offences. They protect women and as well as children from the offences. And we will go to the next chapter. The fourth chapter is civil rights movements, the human rights movements in our times. First of all, after the world wars, the entire world was dominated by 4 categories, four main ideologies. Those are socialism. Fascism. And liberalism. So every community from the world wants to get their rights. They wants to fight for their rights, their equal rights. The civil rights movement. The first one is civil rights movements. It is an important movement that was against the it is a fought for equal treatment of Afro-Americans against the rules permitted the segregation of blacks from the whites in buses, public parks and schools. Then under the leadership of Martin Luther King, the 2 lakhs of people on the day of 28th August 1963, 2 lakhs of people marched towards the Washington, and they demanded for Civil Rights Act. At that time, Dr. King was made a historical speech that was inspired to all the non-violent movements in the world. That is, I have a dream that one day my 4 children will live in the nation where they cannot judge by the skin color, but they will judge by the content of the character. Such an inspiring speech that was made by Martin Luther King. And the next one is anti-nuclear and anti-war movement. In USSR, there is a reform named Glasnost that gives freedom to the population, to the Russian people, by the influence of Alexander Solzhenitsyn and Andrei Sakharov. He was a nuclear scientist. Under the influence of new leadership, the Gorbachev made this reform, and after that USA and Japan issue. The entire world was witness to the horror of nuclear bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, and USA invented and used newer chemical bombs to destroy the Vietnam. And next, the Greenpeace movement. Greenpeace movement was started in 1971 against USA for nuclear tests in Alaska and underground. The volunteers set out in a small ship that was named as Greenpeace. Eventually, that ship name is become as a movement name. But today, the Greenpeace organization is spread all over the 40 countries, and headquarters is in Amsterdam, Holland. And next one is Bhopal gas disaster. Bhopal gas disaster, which was happened in Bhopal in 1984, a poisonous gas leaked out of the Union Carbide factory. Thousands of people lost their lives and many more are still suffering from its ill effects. This was perhaps the worst industrial disaster in the world. Right from the beginning, the people of Bhopal have been fighting for 4 main demands. The first one is ban the Union Carbide factory, and the second one is giving medical treatment for the victims, and the third one is compensation. They want to compensation in the international standards, and the fourth one is they want to preventive measurements for the disasters. And the next one is Silent Valley movement. Kerala government proposed to build a dam across the 2 rivers which is in Western Ghats in Silent Valley in Kerala. It would be disastrous for rare species like lion-tailed monkey, and it is a kind of monkey. People across the state were mobilized by Kerala Shastra Sahitya Parishad, and the Silent Valley, they went to court and Kerala High Court ordered stopping of clear felling. Then government finally decided to give up the project and convert Silent Valley into the national park in 1985. So finally I want to conclude this topic as achieving human rights, achieving environmental rights, and achieving women rights, and eradicating the caste discrimination or racial discrimination, regional discrimination. These all are a continuous process. It is a continuous struggle in democratic India. So every individual, every community from the country should be contribute for this movement, this progress. Okay. Here note children, students, note the projects. Create a poster on eradication of discrimination. First one is, again I am repeating, create a poster on eradication of discrimination, and second one is find out the common features in social movements. And what are the features, common features we found in the social movements, and write down. And I want to thank you to the Social Welfare Society, especially our beloved Secretary Sir R.S. Praveen Kumar, and my mentors Sri Lakshmi Madam, and my family, and thank you.